Hi, I'm Ivan Zoot and welcome to another video in our haircutting series. This is our second video in which we're going to feature the how-to technical information to execute one of the haircuts that make up all this enthusiasm, passion, energy, and trend that's all about the Twilight series. 5 movies, 4 books, an incredible amount of passion out there and enthusiasm for the male characters. You're either on Team Jacob or you're on Team Edward. If you're on Team Edward, go like the other video. But if you're on Team Jacob, this is the one you want to see. We're going to take you through the steps and tricks and techniques and things that are necessary to create the look that Taylor Lautner wears that is such a key element of his character and the film. If you like this video, click up top and subscribe so you don't miss a video from me. Thanks for watching. Here come the steps. Have a great day. Where the Edward Cullen, Robert Pattinson haircut is square, the Taylor Lautner, the Jacob Black haircut, rounds up and follows the head form to a central ridge line. It's got a little more front length and it's got some top center length to it, but it's more rounded to naturally follow the contour of the head. We're going to take you through the steps necessary not to preserve the corner, but to preserve now the top length and blend up into it. It's almost a variation on that classic faux hawk sort of look that's been so popular with so many guys for so many years. But it's a little rougher, a little wilder, a little softer around the edges, heavily lengthened and textured on the top. We'll get ready with step 1. Here we go. Step number 1 is to establish the top front length. Since that front edge is going to be worn up, we're going to comb it up. We're going to shift it back slightly to maintain some length. We're going to use our razor to bring it down to the length we're after, to take it down to where we want it to go. His hair is good and long, so we're taking away some length up front here to get this front edge down to our starting length. That will then serve as our guide length as we move back through the top to establish our front ridge. Razor was our tool of choice to establish that front length. Now I'm going to comb that hair up, looking for that guide from the short length up front. We round up slightly into the top because right behind that front edge is a slightly shorter spot, and we continue out the head. And we can round this. Unlike the plane we maintained in the other haircut, we're going to round this. Look for a piece of the previously cut section in our fingers to serve as our guide. And top center here, we establish the top center length along the ridge. The razor is the tool of choice because of the texture it imparts. We're not getting the kind of hard edges and lines we get when we cut with a scissors. This top center ridge line will be the longest part of the haircut. We're going to carry it all the way back and through to the top crown. We're going to establish our ridge height down the center of the head. Step number 1, we established our front edge length. Step number 2, we established our ridge line height. Now in step number 3, I'm going to split that ridge down the center. I'm going to put a hard center parting in here. He'd never wear his hair this way. He probably doesn't want to be seen with his hair parted this way. However, what's important here is I established that top length, and by parting it to both sides, I have a little piece of that length on either side of the parting. There it is, and there it is. Those are my guides for when I shear up and into the top, because that will be ultimately the longest piece of hair on the head to establish the height of the ridge line. But I'm going to taper, shear over, comb. See him nod like that? He totally understands what we're doing. All right? That's our longest point. We're going to work our way up to our top ridge line. That'll be step 3. Step 4 comes up next. Number 4 is to shear over comb the perimeter. We're going to come in low, classic shear over comb, rolling our comb till the top of the tips of the teeth are tipped out towards us, working our way up the head form, taking off excess length and tapering. However, when we come to the corner up in through here, where on the Robert Pattinson haircut we left that corner in, on this haircut, we're going to continue to follow the curve of the head. Notice I do not fully emphasize the rolling of the teeth of the comb, because as I come up the side of the head like this, I'm taking off that corner. I'm rounding in, and I'm looking for, I'm shooting for, I'm aiming at the longest length right here. Now keep in mind, the hair in front of it here is longer, it's going to be shorter, but this is my guide. When I get to this piece of hair, as it lays down there and I'm about an inch away, I will stop cutting. I want to blend up and into it, but don't cut it. That will create the rounded, more curvilinear silhouette that will mimic or follow his cranial shape, that will give you the character that is what this haircut is all about. And here we go. When we get to it, and I'll stop and check and look at that and lay it down, and I'm just about there. What you know is when you look at this perpendicular, I cut that top this way, I cut shear over comb this way. When I take a perpendicular section, cameraman get over my shoulder, when I take a perpendicular section, you'll see that this will go from short to long as we work all the way up. See, I've got a little bit left to cut right there to establish that ridge line. But that length progression, rounding up the head, is what this is all about. And just don't cut that top, because that was your guide. We establish guides. We don't cut those guides when we get there. I'm going to finish this section. I'm going to complete that process all the way around the head, shear over comb, blending up into and rounding up into the top center ridge line to create the primary shape of the haircut. In step 5, but we'll call it 5B. It's a secondary step. We shear over combed up into the top, shooting for that longest piece of hair at the top of the ridge line, but all good hair cutting is all about cross-checking. If we shear over combed up this way, we've got to cross-check perpendicular. We're going to take vertical sections, we're going to comb them up, and we're going to look to see that we have that length progression. Look at that length progression right there. And if we need to, we'll just tidy it up a little bit. We'll make sure, I'm going to over-direct that front edge back. That's going to be a little bit of a problem, so we'll make it go away. But we're going to cross-check against the way we cut it just to confirm we don't have any bumps or significant steps in there. Don't make it too clean. Don't clean it off real blunt, because we still want some of the texture that is part of the character of the haircut. But we're going to cross-check those sides. There's going to be a big piece on this side just like there was on the other. See it right there? And you can come in, you could point cut that off if you wanted things to stay a little bit softer. That'll work. But we want to just come in and make sure we've got that progressive transition to longer length through the top of the head. Just confirming our work. It's called cross-checking, and it's fundamental to every good haircut you ever do. We'll call that step, what was it, 5B. We're still in that other step, and we're ready for the next step. I think it's step 6. Number 6 in the Taylor Lautner Jacob Black Twilight haircut, edging it up. But don't edge it up with a trimmer. Edge it up with a scissors and a finishing comb. We don't want hard, sharp, clean, defined edges. We want somewhat soft, natural edges like would be naturally found on somebody who didn't get a haircut every single week and who couldn't really maintain a haircut because he's part werewolf, so it stayed a little bit rough. Exactly. And we'll complete that all the way around the head, ear to ear, nape line, through the back. Here we go, step 7. It's time to texturize, personalize, or customize the haircut. Since we cut the top, when we set the ridge line in the front edge with the razor, it's already going to be softer and broken, and that's the look we're after. Since we taper the back and sides, shear over comb at a longer length, it's going to have the softness that a clipper cut in this case wouldn't have, and that's part and parcel of what we're trying to create. We're going to come in with the tip of our razor, and we're going to break that up. Based on the client's density and texture, we'll determine how much of this you need to do to get the really textured look you're after, and you'll be ready to style and finish. But personalize and texturize in this step through the top of the hair. Hey, step 8, it's time to style and finish. It's highly likely the hair has dried down a bit during the cutting process. If necessary, the water bottle. Hydrate the hair a little bit, dampen the hair a little bit. We're going to rough dry. Rough drying with a blow dryer and our hand just to get the moisture out and get that top shape in place, kind of pushing stuff up and to the middle. We're going to apply a small quantity of firm hold styling gel, something that's got a little bit of hold and a little bit of shine to it before we rough dry, and we'll apply a whole bunch more when we're done for the finish. That's coming up next. If a little gel is good, a lot of gel is better. I love gel. Once we've rough dried the hair with a little bit of gel to hold the shape, we're going to take a little more gel on our hands. We're going to push that front edge up. We're going to position and work perfect. His hair was great for this. Notice the separation, notice the texture, notice that center ridge line, and notice it's not a perfect clean ridge line down the middle. This is supposed to look a little natural, a little messy, a little like he didn't try so hard, even though if you're going to look like this, you're going to have to kind of try a little bit hard. But yeah, that's that look. Notice how that side blends up and in. This is not a normal haircut push to the middle. That shape was carved or sculpted in as we took our shear over comb up the sides of the head to create the look. Notice the perimeter's a little bit soft. This does not look freshly barbered, and that's not the look we were after. That's our finish for the Jacob Black, the Taylor Lautner haircut from the Twilight series. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the series. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.